gotta watch that thing, man. You're gonna put somebody. Yeah, don't it? Oh, sorry, we're recording. Anyway, welcome to the next episode of the issue number 24 of the Fast and Furious Build Your Legendary Dodge Charger from Fanhome. I forgot to add that part at the end of the other video, didn't I? Yeah, anyway. So, okay. So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll get started on the build. So, we'll get into it. Okay. So, in this catalog is issue 24. And we're going to go through the pages of the magazine before we get to the build. Always seems like the first page of each one of them always seems to have all this stuff in it. But then it gets into different content here. Okay. Let me zoom out on this just a little bit so y'all can see as far out as I can go. Okay, just a little bit more things for you to look at. Okay. Looks like in this one we're going to be doing the assembling the battery. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot to it, but again, you know, it may be an easy step and everything, but sometimes when you got small parts, it usually takes longer than you think it would. But in this issue, it looks like we're going to be using AP screws to hold stuff together. Got some little parts in there that, well, when I do anything with small parts, it usually takes me a little bit more time because my hands are big and clumsy. So there's the steps involved in it and putting the battery box together. And we got more. Looks like we're going to be bringing out one of the fenders. I'm not sure which one that is. I'll have to look at that a little bit closer detail when I, before I start filming or making the next part. Looks like it's on the driver's side. I could be wrong. That could be the passenger side. I don't know. But I'm going to have to look through it to make sure I'm doing the right side or the left side, whichever one they want me to use. But it's supposed to look like this when you're finished. So, and some more about go through the rest of the catalog. Looks like we're looking at cams this time. But if you still like me to show you what's in the magazine like I'm doing now for every issue or every stage, you just let me know. You still like this when I do this to show you what's in the magazine? Some people won't even show you this. I mean, there's some people that doing this same model. All they do is just show you the instructions and then they'll show you what's in the rest of the magazine. So they just get right to it. So if you don't want to see this part, I'll do like the rest of them and I'll just show you what's in, how to build it. Alright, here's what's in the kit. I think all this is plastic. Now, usually when I have this, well, in this case it's going to be a battery cable. I may have to take some of this wire, like this stuff I had in the other, put this in that tube or rubber hose to stiffen it a little bit. So I don't know if I need to or not. We'll find out when we get to that point. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, now on the battery box they want us to take the top of the battery, and they want you to use like this little label that's on the side of the battery. They want you to use that as a reference which way it goes, because it's only on one side of the battery. And you match it up with the top, where the screw holes are. You match them up with that so it goes this way. Okay. And then they want you to put 2 AP screws in to hold it together. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit because the camera's doing that weird thing. It kind of tries to focus a little bit. plastic parts, you want to make sure you're not tightening up too tight, as if you are, it will crack the part. Strip it out, which I have stripped out a few parts before. So yeah, so you want to be careful when you're tightening up these. You just go snug with it. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell how snug you want to go, but when it stops, stop turning. Alright, now with using a sticker as a reference, they want us to turn it upside down, and they want us to grab the it says battery housing, and they want us to put it under the battery body. Just line up the little indentations or dimples with these where the standoffs are for the screws. You just stick it in there. Okay. And they want you to hold it together with 2 AP screws. Of course, that's the only screw that we're using in this stage. So get one. I'll tighten this up all the way, and then I'll grab the next one. Okay, snug. I feel like if I try to tighten it anymore, it's going to probably strip. We don't want it doing that. Especially as much as this model costs, I don't think you want to mess up the parts, right? Alright. Next step. In this part, they want us to have a battery like this, and they want us to put in this this clamp bracket. And apparently, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter which way it goes, because they both seem to be the same on both sides, no matter which way you go with it. Or wait a minute. They might be a little... they might be slightly different. No, they're actually the same. Okay. Yeah. So these little standoffs or whatever, pegs that are made into it, are going to go in those 2 little holes. So we're just going to go ahead and line them up. Now at any time when I'm putting any of this stuff together, if it does not want to stay put, you can actually use glue, which I'm prepared to do if I have to. I try not to use glue if necessary, but there are times when you may have to. Alright. Get that pushed in. Now it looks like it's going to stay. It'll hold in with friction. Okay. And then they want us to take this little part here. That's the first mounting screw into the hole in the bracket on the side where the label is first, and then they want you to put it through the hole. It looks like it's going to go in a little firm. Be careful when doing this, because it is made out of plastic, and you don't want to break it or force it. And it looks like it's going to go in a little difficult. I definitely do not want to break this. Okay, it looks like it's going to be held in with, it's going to stay in with friction. It don't look like I'm going to have to glue anything. It's actually going in pretty firm. So there we go. Looks like it's going to stay in, I think. Maybe. If it gets a little loose or anything tries to fall out, I will glue it. So, kind of like that. Okay, next step. Okay, basically we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it on the other side now. Taking this little piece, you're going to push it through the hole, and it's firm just like the other side. So carefully, it is plastic, and one little wrong move and it goes snap. So this one doesn't have a bottom part to catch onto, so like it does on the other one, so I don't think it matters. It just push it in all the way, and there you go. Now that does seem a little, I don't think it's going to pull out though. It looks like it's going to stay put, so it's just going to be like that. But that's how that looks so far. So, it looks like a battery, right? Now, on the next step that I'm going to have to go dig out the other Fender that I put away in the box, so I will be right back. Okay, this is the Fender I did in the other, I had to dig it out of a box where I had it stored at. This is the one when I did stage 22. And what they were talking about in the other section of the other magazine I'm looking at now. See, on this one it has an L stamped into it, which would be probably the driver's side. And then the one I'm doing that I did in the last kit, it's got an R stamped on it for probably the passenger side. Now I might be wrong on that, but okay, this one's only got holes for the battery. The other side doesn't. So here's the two holes for the battery, and this little insert here is where that little, the other little hold down goes into. So they want the battery to go into those holes. We'll line those up just like that, and then they want you to attach that to the fender using 2 AP screws. Get it snug. And then we'll tighten them both up. Maybe one day we'll get a different setup for the cameras and stuff, or get another camera and have it set up differently where I can get better angles. But well, that's going in crooked. Okay, I gotta make sure the hose lined up. Good. Let's go straight in with it. Okay. Again, it is plastic going into metal, but, or should I say, metal going into plastic. So this plastic part, you want to make sure you're not over tightening. Let's go until it stops. There's that. As far as where that little, see, now it's not moving because it's holding up against the fender down there now. So when it's in that little groove, which right now it don't look like it is. I need more light so I can see, please. And the camera's moving. I'm having some technical difficulty. So I gotta readjust. And this light is blinding a little bit, but yeah. Okay, I'm doing a look at it off camera for a moment. Try to push that over. Okay. It looks like it might be okay. Still kind of hard to see. I see a lot of shadowing in there. It looks like it looks like it's in there where it's supposed to be. But that's what we got so far. So, next step. Okay, on this one you'll have to really look at the parts a little closer. Okay, they are slightly different. These are what do they call these again? The terminals, battery terminals. Okay, on one of these, I don't know if you'll be able to tell it, but it is slightly different. And this one is just slightly different than the other one. See, it's kind of... Anyway, this one looks like it's a little bit longer with the battery end, or the cable would go on the end. This one looks like it goes on the side. So they're slightly different. They are tiny. Anyway, the one that's the longer one, where the battery cable actually plugs into the back end of it, like right there, you take the longer tube, or should I say longer battery cable. Now, this is not, it's I'm not sure if I like the way that is. You know, as I said, I may have to use that wire like I did with the spark plug wires and actually stiffen this up a little bit so I can put it where I want it. Because this, yeah, it's flopping around like that. I don't like that. So I may put a little bit of wire in that, but I'll do it off camera. Because if you want to see how I do it, just go back to the video where I was working on the engine. Alright, so they want us to take the positive cable positive terminal, and they want us to connect it into the hose, or should I say the battery cable, which would be the longer one. I don't know, maybe I might leave the battery cable like this for now. If it's not what I like, I will actually stiffen it up. But we'll see how it does with this first. So we'll give that a shot first, and then we'll see if it's, you know, if it's something that we want to keep like that. I might not, I don't know. So we're just testing this out. Alright, so they want us to attach this little bitty piece, the terminal, onto the battery cable, like so. I think I might need new glasses because it's getting difficult to see. It's all part of getting old. But then again, it doesn't really matter how old you are. If you have to wear glasses, you'll have to wear glasses regardless of your age. Because I started wearing glasses when I was in junior high. I think I was in the 6th grade or 7th. Oh wait, I was in the 7th grade when I had to start wearing glasses for the first time. It was kind of embarrassing when you never wore glasses, and then all of a sudden you had to start wearing glasses. And then you have kids, you know, your classmates start making fun of you. You know, it's like, you don't have to be ashamed of wearing glasses if you have to wear them. You know, eventually, you know, your classmates, if they do make fun of you if you have to wear glasses and you're in high school or grade school or whatever, don't let that bother you. You know, don't let people bully you just because you look different and everything. It just means you're different. But eventually it will happen to, probably will happen to the people that are trying to bully you. You know, they will eventually, you know, that will eventually probably end up happening to them one day. So they shouldn't be picking on you. Anyway, we take this other terminal, which is the, I guess that's the negative. Yeah. And you take the short cable, and it goes into that. So maybe I won't use the wire in them to stiffen it up. I might just I just keep them like this and see if I like the way they look. And I can't get that to go in there. If you have a trouble trying to get that to go in, I'm going to keep at it, but if it gives me any more trouble, I will try to... You can always widen the end by sticking something small in it and then stretch it a little bit. You can always do that. So, and as a last resort, you can always use glue to make it. It looks like it's giving me a hard time. It's not wanting to go in. Alright, tweezers. Take the pointed end of it, stick it in the end of it, and just push, and that'll stretch it out just a little bit. Not too much, because you could split the hose or tubing. Just stick that in there. What was I saying before? When it looks like it's going to be simple, it turns out to be a nightmare, or it turns out to be difficult, which is looking like it's what it's doing right now. So I'll stretch it out a little more. Alright. My throat starts sounding a little bit different. That's probably because my throat's dry. So, alright, let me try this a different way. Just a little different. If I'm spending too much time on this, I'll probably cut the camera and come back to it. I'll do it off camera and then come back. That's probably what I'll end up having to do. And what's that one saying that somebody said one time about, you know, it's always the littlest things that cause the most problems, or something of that type, right? Oh boy, it does not want to go in there. Maybe because it's got a little excess paint on it. I'm going to straighten that up a little. I may have to do this off camera. Just get it started. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it helps sometimes if you can see what you're doing. There we go. Make sure it's on there good. There we go. There's that one. That one gave me a little bit of trouble, but it's not that bad. Alright, next up. Okay. Now they want us to take the negative battery cable, which is this one, and they want us to attach that part of it to the first hole right here in the front, because you know this is going to be towards the firewall. This is going to be towards the front of the car, so the front part goes in there, and if it doesn't stay, I'm going to have to glue it. So looks like it doesn't. Yeah, okay, it just clicks in, so very good. Alright, now I didn't put no wire or anything in this tubing, so it's flexible, but it's so short I don't think I need to put any in it. And they want us to put the other end into this little peg that's sticking out right there, and I'm going to use my tweezers to help me out on this, because I don't think I can get my big clumsy hands in there. So I'm going to have to widen that in just a little. It doesn't want to go in. And I definitely don't want to put no oil in that, because if I do, it won't stay in, and then I'll have to glue it. But it needs enough friction where it doesn't have to, where it'll just stay in on its own without having to put anything in it, like glue or anything. So if we can get it to, okay. I'm gonna have to try to put this in on first, and then I gotta reattach it back onto the terminal. That took me a little while to put it on there. So we're gonna see if we can get this on. If we can't get this on, we're gonna have to do it off camera. But then again, if you see the issues I'm having, you might be having the same problems, and you might want to see how I do it to get it go past that, right? Okay, if I can get the battery cable on there good, and then I can get the other end back on. And it looks like it's giving me a hard time. I can't tell if that's on all the way or not. Okay, it is. Now the fun part is putting this back on, since I was having such fun trying to get it on the first time. Okay. There we go. I think friction will actually hold it in place. If I have to, I can glue it. I don't think it's going to be necessary. Now you can also turn that, but I'm not going to do that. Again, if I have to, I will glue it, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need to. Looks like it's going to be fine just like that. It's funny, in the picture, it's showing the battery cable going across the top of the battery, and then it's coming over here to the firewall, but I think it looks okay like that, don't you? You can always use it, keep it like that, but if you think it might look better with the kind of hanging up here like that, or going, basically in the book it's showing it to be like this. So I think it'd be fine like this. I don't think it's no big deal. Just make sure it's in there good. Okay. There we go. There's that. Now they want us to attach. Oh, speaking of wire, I did put the metal wire inside this because I didn't like it flopping around. So as you can see, I put that metal wire in it, so now it's going to hold its pose wherever I put it. So now that it's like that, I mean, when you buy actual battery cables, they are stiff like that. You know, they're not flimsy like the other. Now they want this positive battery cable to be attached to the other side of the battery, and I think it's the same deal as the other one. You push it until you feel it go in all the way like that, and it's firm. Now we're not supposed to attach the other end just yet, because this is probably going to go on the engine somewhere. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you got so far. So there's that. Now, off camera, if this decides it's going to come off the terminal, I will glue it, because it is kind of hanging a little bit, and if it tries to come off, I will glue it all in there. And I'm going to leave it like it is. I thought maybe I could put a little wire in that to stiffen it up a little, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it looks okay like that. But that completes this kit. Now it's finished. Okay. Okay, that completes issue number, or stage number 24 of the Fast and Furious Dice Charger, LRT from Fast and Furious, from the movie. And yeah, it was kind of fun, even though I had a little difficulty on little parts of it, but it's okay. So as you can tell, I'm tired, but it's okay. So yeah, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, it will be out a great deal. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification button and let you know when I release a new video. It will also let YouTube know, or the algorithm that YouTube has, it will let them know that you want to see or you like this kind of content. and it'll let you see more of it, of this type. So yeah, that'd be it for now until the next time. Be safe out there, and take precautions to keep from getting COVID, that kind of thing. So anyway, see you when I see you. Bye.